So I've got a topic today that is admittedly a bit late, and that's because, well, I've been thinking about doing this video for over a week now, since this topic originally came up, and you'll see what it is in a second. But at the time, when I went to write everything down, get a script ready, and start recording, I don't know, I hesitated. So I don't plan to keep doing that. I want to be able to share my thoughts with everybody on a topic that I think is interesting whenever that topic is relevant and happening. So this will not be a normal video. I'm not going to normally talk about things from 2 weeks ago, but today I am because I have thoughts on what I'm talking about. So with that being said, let's get into the intro. So with this past month's release of Forza Horizon 5 across both generations of Xbox and PC, Playground Games has set yet another benchmark for what an open-world racing game can and should be. It's a game that sets standards not only for its gameplay, but for its visuals and even more importantly, its accessibility. But fans of the series, like myself and many others, have been taught to never expect a racing game to win Game of the Year, or even be nominated for that matter. And well, it looks like this year is no different, and in today's video I wanted just to sit down and talk about it, and I want to do that without talking bad about other games that were nominated, or just turning this into one of those Jeff Keighley hates Xbox videos. Because let's be honest, I'm sure anyone watching my videos has already seen plenty of that on both Twitter and YouTube. But without dragging out this intro any longer, let's get right into the video. So we all know that the announcement for this year's Game of the Year nominees for the VGAs has long come and gone at this point. Which means that by now we all know that Forza Horizon 5 was nowhere to be found on that list, unfortunately. And like I said in the intro, I'm not going to turn this video into the type of video where I rag on the games that were listed, because in my opinion every single one of them deserves to be nominated. But when it comes to Forza Horizon 5, you would certainly think that it also deserves a nomination, right? I mean, 10 million players in its first week is something that is solely reserved for top-tier gaming experiences. Hell, even in early access, it had about 2 million players, which means that those 2 million players either bought the $100 premium game bundle or the premium add-on bundle and played via Game Pass, which is what I did, by the way. So surely, that must mean that these people are at least enjoying the game, right? And before I continue, I'm not saying that Forza Horizon 5 deserves to win Game of the Year. All I'm saying is that if there's any game that deserves to be in the conversation, it's Forza Horizon 5. And the fact that it isn't in the conversation makes me question things. Like, what exactly is the deciding factor for a game to be nominated? What are games at the end of the day? They're entertainment. And if a game is pulling the player counts that Horizon 5 is, then I think it's safe to say that it's entertaining. I mean, for me personally, games are all about fun, and the most fun I had with a game this year was Forza Horizon 5. And that's not to say that Ratchet & Clank isn't good, because it is. It's also not to take anything away from Psychonauts 2, because I think the way that game deals with legitimately powerful elements of the human mind is something that you really don't see in a video game. And you guys already know I'm a stan for Arcane, and I absolutely adore what I've played of Deathloop. But I am personally waiting for the Xbox release next September so I can grab a physical copy and get my achievements on Xbox. And while horror games aren't really my thing, I've heard nothing but good things about Resident Evil 8, and the same can be said for It Takes Two. And I've also enjoyed what I've played of Metroid Dread, but at no point playing any of these games did I have the amount of fun that I had while playing Forza. I just think that when judging video games, that should be something worth mentioning. I mean, if we go back to last year's Game Awards, for example, speaking as someone who loved The Last of Us 2, I mean, I loved The Last of Us 2. I even did a review for it after I beat it here on the channel. But I loved that game from top to bottom. But was that game really fun? I can only speak for me when I say that I didn't have fun playing that game. I'll say that the story was so damn good that I continued the game to see it through to the end. But that game wasn't fun by any means. It was just emotionally draining, quite honestly. And if you don't believe me when I say that, then listen to the guy who helped bring this game to life, Neil Druckmann. He's said on numerous occasions that The Last of Us 2 isn't a game that is meant to be fun. It is not fun. I mean, he said this in multiple interviews ever since that game's release, and even before that game's release. But that game was probably the best story out of all the games nominated. In fact, I think it's one of the best stories in video game history. But if the Game of the Year award is really all about the best story in games that year, then surely this should be a separate category entirely, right? For example, the last Game Awards could have had a category for best story that includes all kinds of bangers like The Last of Us 2, Ori 2, Ghost of Tsushima, Miles Morales, and have those games battle it out in that category. And listen, maybe I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm sure that Jeff Keighley and the people involved behind the scenes with this show know much more about running an awards show than I ever will. I just think that when the numbers are telling you that something is undeniably at a top tier level of gaming and that studio is firing on all cylinders, I think they deserve to be in the conversation at least as a nominee. I'm also not saying that because Forza Horizon 5 isn't nominated that suddenly the Game Awards don't matter. For me personally, I don't really care who wins. I really just enjoy seeing who gets nominated for what. And if a game that I like wins, then that's really cool as far as I'm concerned. But I don't tune into the Game Awards to see the winners in each category. I tune into the Game Awards to see what every other gamer wants to see, which is the new game announcements and reveals. So even though I think that Forza Horizon 5 deserves to be in the conversation, I certainly am not going to lose any sleep over the fact that it isn't. I just feel a bit bad for the devs, who have undoubtedly created their best piece of work to date and have done nothing but set the bar higher and higher for themselves and other open world racers. And to see their work go largely unnoticed or underappreciated once again just probably kind of sucks for them. But I just wanted to give my thoughts on the situation as well as ask you guys what you think about the situation. I know, like I said in the intro, I'm pretty late to this topic, but I wanted to put my thoughts out there anyway, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Leave a like if you like the video, and please remember to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell if you're enjoying the content and want to stay up to date on all my latest videos. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.